But I definitely feel now, like just the last month or so, I'm really starting to feel like I'm getting somewhere, which is so good. It's just so good. Hey there, Sue here. I thought it was about time that I did a wee update on what's happening with me on my carnivore diet. It has been just about 11 months, so I'm coming up for my 1-year carniversary at the end of next month. Now, if this is your first time finding me on my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, share with anybody that you think might appreciate this information. So, where am I at? If you follow me on Twitter, you would know that I decided that I was going to do some fasting towards the end of February, so after my birthday, and because I've set myself a goal to lose a pile of weight and get myself in a better place physically in the next 12 months before I turn 60. So I decided that I was going to dive into this fasting. I was going to make my body lose this weight. I should know better. So what I started off doing was doing 2 fasts a week. So I was doing a 30-hour fast from usually Monday lunchtime through to Tuesday night. Eating 1 meal Tuesday night, eating 1 meal Wednesday, and then fasting again Thursday, Friday, so 48 hours. So basically eating 3 meals in those 5 days during the week. Now, started off well with a hiss and a roar. And so I did that for 2 weeks. And what I found was that the 30-hour fast was fine. When I did the 48-hour fast, I had diarrhea as soon as I ate, even if I started eating again slowly. So the second week I had bone broth with some butter to break my fast, and then I had a little something else, and then I had my meal. As soon as I had my meal, boom, in the toilet within 10 minutes. And I've been great. Like, I haven't had any diarrhea for really probably since before Christmas sometime. So obviously my body, when I'm doing those longer fasts, my digestive system goes to sleep, and it kind of doesn't want to wake up or something. I'm wondering if it's still something to do with my liver and gallbladder. So I did a couple of months on milk thistle for my liver towards the end of last year, and I was taking ox bile for about 2 or 3 months before Christmas, and also taking a product called Gut Health, which I've just stopped taking now. And so all of that made quite a big difference. I was also taking another product as well. I'll just grab it, can't remember what it's called. Hang on, coming back, hold on. So I've been taking N-acetyl glucosamine. So this stuff here. So I've been taking that as well, and I was taking it every day for quite a long time. Just take it occasionally now, and I've just about finished, and I wasn't going to buy any more. So that helps to heal your digestive tract up as well. So that's why I was taking that. I have somewhere for you to check out, carnivoregear.etsy.com. I've got t-shirts and cups and bits and pieces, and my stock is growing constantly. If you've got something in particular that you want, fire me a message and I'll see if I can do it for you. carnivoregear.etsy.com. So I'm really pleased with the way things are going with my digestive system, because it's been a real problem for quite a lot of years, like most of my adult life. So, but it's still sensitive. It still doesn't take much to upset it, I find. I did those first 2 weeks, so I thought, okay, what I'll do is I'll switch it up and do shorter fasts. So I thought, well, I might do alternate day fasting, and then I decided to do alternate day fasting just during the week. So do Monday, Wednesday, Friday fasting, and then eat the other 4 days. So I did that for 3 weeks. And by the time I got to the 3rd week, which is my 5th week of fasting, I was just a mess. I was tired. I couldn't get enough sleep. My energy was just really lacking. I was grumpy, and I wasn't sleeping, and I hadn't really lost any weight, and I just was like, I can't do this. So I think I pushed it too hard and too fast. And because fasting pushes your cortisol levels up, I'm kind of fairly prone to cortisol issues anyway, I think, because I've got pyroluria, and I managed to stress myself out with my anxiety, have been for years and years and years. So I think there's a lot to be fixed there. And so I think that the fasting just isn't going to work for me. So I decided after that to just eat, and eat when I'm hungry. So the first few days I ate 3 meals a day to get myself back to a place where I felt good. And then since then I've been doing mostly 2 meals. Sometimes I'll have breakfast, sometimes I won't, depends on whether I'm hungry. I'm eating when I'm hungry, so that's what I'm doing right now. I don't gain any weight when I'm doing that, so things just kind of stay stable. So with regard to my weight really hasn't shifted. People keep saying to me, oh, you're losing heaps of weight, but I'm not. The weight on the scales hasn't moved, but my body is definitely changing. You can see it in my face from my videos. If you look a couple of years ago at my face, there's quite a big difference there, and my clothing size is going down. I'm starting to kind of creep back down towards a size 14 where I was in 18. So there's definitely changes happening, and I know now I've just been digging into a heap of information just recently, and I know now from what I've been listening to that the stearic acid in saturated fats actually shrinks your fat cells. So that's one of the things that's going on. I've been listening to, who was talking about that? I think it was Georgie Dinkoff with Paul Saladino. So I've been listening to Paul's work because I've been eating some fruit. Confession time. Now, I was eating some berries off and on to try and control my bowel like last year, but I've had periods of time where I've gone for long periods without any plants at all. But I was finding with the diarrhea that the plants, the fiber, I think, was helping, and the oxalates as well, because I had a lot of my issue, I think, was to do with oxalate dumping too. So, so I was eating some berries off and on, and I had a little patch before Christmas where we were eating potato, because I found that really helped with the diarrhea as well. So now the reason that I've been eating fruit is because we've got it growing in the back garden. We've got this massive grapevine that runs all the way along our fence, and it was loaded this year, and I managed to avoid them most of the time. So I would have some for a few days. Like I avoided them for quite a while, and then they kind of, you could smell them as they were ripening on the vine, and I had a few, and then I had a few more, you know, and then I'd have some for a few days, then I'd go, that's it, I'm not eating more anymore. And so I'd go for a week or a couple of weeks without any, and then I would have some again. And because they lasted for ages this year, there were so many on there. I've never seen, like, it always produces really well, that grapevine, but I've never seen it like it was this year. I think it was there to either test me or tell me something, one of the two, I don't know. But so the grapes are now finished, and now we have feijoas. So we have 2 feijoa trees in the backyard. Feijoas are absolutely one of my favourite fruits, and they're not super high in sugar. If you're not sure not familiar with feijoas, I think they come from South America. I'll show you one. I'll just grab one. So this is a feijoa, and our 2 trees, they're ripening and they're falling all over the ground. So I've been eating those every day for probably the last couple of weeks, just at night time, and that just is what it is. They'll be running out soon. I was just out there today picking up some more, and they there's not a whole lot left on the trees, so I'd probably give them another couple of weeks and they'll be done, and then it'll get easier again. And I kind of feel like the fruit, so I've been listening to Paul, and I know all the carnivore police and the strict carnivores, they just bag him all the time. But my feeling has been right from the beginning, Paul Saladino was the first carnivore that I listened to, and I bought his book, and the way he explained things makes sense to me. If you want to be 100% animal based, that's fine, and if it works for your body, that's fine. I think that each of us, I am my own N=1 experiment. And so for me, I'm going to try these things. So I've been eating some fruit. I'm planning in June on doing B, B, B and E, or maybe just B, B, B without the eggs. I'll see how I go for a month just to see what changes. And so that'll be the first month of my second year eating this way. And so I want to see what works for me. Now, when I listen to Paul and when I listen to like his experience going and staying with the Hadza people, I think these traditional tribes, they eat animal products and they eat fruit and they eat honey. And you can say that, you know, oh, the fruit's changed and whatever, but there's always been fruit, there's always been berries, and it's seasonal and it's cyclical depending on where you live. And so, you know, I listened to Bart Kay the other day going on about Paul, and like he makes out like it's just going to be the end for Paul if something happens with his health. It's like, as long as you're not dead, you can recover. You know, it's like, if I'm quite sure if Paul realizes in a few years' time that fruit is giving him a problem and honey, he'll go off it again and his body will heal, because that's the way our bodies work. Unless we're dead, it's not too late, you know? And so I think that there is way too much of this whole have to be exactly this way, have to be, like I say to my clients all the time, go by how you feel. You know, the doctor can do the tests and tell you that you're sick, but if you feel amazing, then that's how you feel. When your body is not functioning well, you won't feel well. And for me right now, I feel freaking amazing. I'm not a fan of the science cult. You know, I think that there's a lot of error in there. There's a lot of assumption. There's a lot of opinion and belief. And there's a lot that is portrayed as being truth when no one really knows. You know, I mean, our minds play such a huge part on the way our bodies function. What else did I want to talk about? I've gone on a bit of a rant here that I wasn't going to do on this video. So what else am I doing right now? I am taking thiamine. So I was listening to Elliot Overton from EO Nutrition, and he was talking about high dose thiamine. So he uses that a lot with his clients in his practice. And it made sense to me that this is probably a problem for me because of my history with pyrrole disorder and most of my lifetime of gut issues. The fact that my digestive system hasn't been digesting food properly for years and years and years. I've probably got massive deficiencies still in my body. Well, like I've had problems with vertigo for at least the last probably close to 15 years, off and on, and was getting it quite badly over the last few years, and dizzy spells, which were kind of a little bit different. The vertigo that I get is kind of positional, so it's when I lie down. I'll quite often get it, or when I sit up from lying down. The dizzy spells will happen just randomly when I'm doing stuff. So I was getting those almost every day before I started Carnivore. They stopped the first week, and I hadn't had any until just a few days ago, and I think it was because I started taking some Feverfew herb, and so I'll talk about why I'm taking that in a minute. The vertigo had kind of come back a little bit, probably about a month or 6 weeks ago now. It's been a little while. It could be to do with the fruit, I don't know, but I think it actually happened before I started even eating the grapes. I don't know whether the vertigo is deficiency, because it could be a thiamine deficiency. I don't know whether it's to do with mold. I had years of mold exposure in the rooms where I used to have my business. So it could be that. It could also be oxalates. So I've been dumping massive amounts of oxalates. It's all kind of slowing down and kind of coming under control now. But it's been pretty full on for about the first 9 months or 10 months or so. First 9 or 10 months. It's only just kind of starting to settle now. So it could be oxalate. It could be a combination of all of those things. You know, who knows? So the reason I started taking the Feverfew was because I was listening to a couple of different people, but I was listening to Georgie Dinkoff, I think his name is, with Paul Saladino. Now, Georgie's got no qualifications, but he's trained himself in biochemistry. His knowledge is pretty amazing. And whether he's 100% right about things or not, I don't know. But he was talking about serotonin and how serotonin pretty much has the opposite effect from the way that they try and make out that it does. Dopamine is the thing that makes you happy, and serotonin has inflammatory effects, and it contributes to with depression and anxiety and that sort of thing. Plus, it's kind of tied in with histamine as well, and so I've been having some histamine issues. So Georgie was talking about aspirin, and I don't like pharmaceuticals, so I decided to take Feverfew instead, because it has the same effects. So what it does is it basically blocks those serotonin receptors, and histamine, it has an effect on histamine as well because of that. I can't remember exactly how it works. So I started taking that just probably about 5 days ago, I think, and I've been feeling really good. As I said, the first couple of days, in the first 3 days, I had 2 funny like dizzy spells where the first day I thought I was going to pass out. I was sitting on the chair, I was like, oh my God, I haven't had this for like nearly a year. But it went away and I was all good, didn't die. And so, and then I had another one when I was working on a client, but it was milder, and then I haven't had any since. So what I noticed when I was taking it too was it was also giving me a funny kind of a headachy sort of a thing, something going on up here. So I'll keep taking it because things seem to be improving for the most part. So I'm taking that for that. I'm also taking some organ supplements. So in New Zealand we have a brand called Homegrown Primal. These guys, Homegrown Primal. I'm not affiliated with these guys at all. So, but they are of course all New Zealand beef that is in them. And so after listening to Paul and different other people and listening to Elliot, because Elliot was talking about if you're taking thiamine, so I'm gradually increasing my dose of thiamine, vitamin B1, but he was saying that you should really take a B complex with that. But when you look at the capsules with the B complexes, like the one that I ordered, they have other stuff in them, and excipients, I think that's what it's called, in them, and they're bad for your gut. And it's like, well, I'm taking these things to help. That was one of the reasons I stopped supplements originally completely. And so you're taking these vitamins, but the excipients that are in the capsules are damaging your gut lining. So I decided to opt for offal supplements instead, because they have massive nutrition and they don't have the excipients. It's just dried, raw offal in a gelatin capsule. And so that's what I'm doing. But I'm not taking all of them every day. I've got different ones. I've got heart and lung. I've got liver. I've got one with kidney and spleen and everything in it. I've got another one that's a woman's one that's got like uterus and placenta and stuff in it. And so like I'll just take 3 or 4 or 6, a couple of one, a couple of another, and then the next day I might take a couple of different ones, and then gradually I'll spread those out. But since I've been taking those in the Feverfew, I have definitely noticed a difference in the way that I feel. So I think they're helping. Another one that they do have that I didn't get was one that contains suet. And so as I said before, the stearic acid that's in animal fats shrinks the fat cells and fires up the mitochondria again. So when you've been eating a lot of polyunsaturated fatty acids like I did for years, those PUFAs are damaging your fat cells, and it causes the fat cells to explode or something and damages the mitochondria. So when you're eating lots of animal fat and stearic acid, what that does is it heals those fat cells up again and tightens them up, I think, from what I can gather, and gets that mitochondria, which is the energy part of it, going again. So I think that's obviously what's happening with me getting smaller and that. So I thought that I might try those as well to get more stearic acid in, because if I have too much fat, then the bowel motions get a bit loose again, because I'm finding that today. So yeah, so I've been doing loads of research and loads of thinking and loads of listening to lots of different people and trying to decide, which way to go with things and what to test, just to see how my body feels and to see how it's reacting, and and everything. And, you know, nothing's set in stone. I don't have fixed ideas about anything. So apart from the fact that animal products are really freaking healthy and really good for your body, that's what I know from being on them for almost a year, the way that I have been. Things are just getting better and better. I mean, my skin's getting better. The first probably 8 months or so, my skin was quite bad, and I could see people that knew me looking at me thinking, oh, you look like crap, you're eating too much meat, you know. Kind of knew that was what they're thinking. And because I'd taken to wearing foundation, you know, makeup quite a lot, because I was getting lots of pimples and patchiness, like red patchy stuff and that. Whereas that's settling. I still have days when it happens, and but I'll have days when my skin's actually really good as well. So that's improving. I think that's it for today. If you've got any comments or questions, please fire away below. If you're having diarrhea on carnivore, just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I am so over the moon that this appears to be a thing of the past for me, which is just a freaking miracle, absolute fucking miracle. It's like, that has been a lot of years. And my anxiety, that's what I was going to talk about too. My anxiety is getting a lot better. I still have days, and I think that depends on the oxalate dumping quite a bit. But it's getting a lot better. I'm taking CBD oil as well, which I think is helping too. So my plan with the CBD oil is to take it probably for a few months and then taper off it and see where I am on my own without it. Because at this stage, I'm not sure how much is the CBD and how much is the carnivore animal-based diet. But I definitely feel now, like just the last month or so, I'm really starting to feel like I'm getting somewhere, which is so good. It's just so good. If you're thinking about going on to carnivore, trying it, just do it. Take it slowly to start with. Don't jump in like I did, but I don't know, the oxalate dumping was pretty rough. But I survived. I didn't die. That's the thing. So yeah, so that's it. Questions or comments, fire away. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, like and share, so my content kind of creeps up the things, the algorithm in YouTube. And if anyone is thinking about carnivore and is having similar issues to what I've had, then share with them as well. Okay, so that's it for today. I will talk to you again another day. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.